Lance, the evil genius, from Widget Laboratory with your Lab Secrets new product tutorial. Today we'd like to teach you the basics of how to obtain your Lab Dashboard, install it on your site, and set it up to take advantage of your new social network. Now, the Lab Dashboard is available from LabSecrets.com, and you can utilize it on your own WordPress site, or you can take one of our instant, immediately hosted solutions, either our Support Plus or Entrepreneur plan. The first step is to obtain your Lab Dashboard. By going to LabSecrets.com, as I have here, you can click on the Get Started Now button, and it'll take you to our Plans page. You can also click on Plans in the header. Once you're there, you'll see that you have a variety of choices, starting with whether to take the Solo plan, Support Plus, or Entrepreneur. Solo is for anybody who has their own WordPress site and they would like to just obtain the free Lab Dashboard. They can install it directly, as I'll show you in a moment, or you can go ahead and have us install it for you by taking one of the Support Plus or Entrepreneur plans. The benefits of Support Plus and Entrepreneur: it's an instantly hosted, immediately set up site that you can begin working on. You also obtain free use via our lease-to-own plan of the lab photos and the lab videos for as long as you remain hosted. The hosting plan has unlimited bandwidth and storage and a bunch of other benefits, including full access to our LabSecrets.com members-only area, where you'll have access to tested, tried and true third-party plugins, some additional tips and tricks, and some other goodies. Overall, the most important difference between Support Plus and Entrepreneur is that Support Plus is with forum and email support, and Entrepreneur has a concierge level support, which means you get priority service via Skype or telephone. Now, once you've decided on which plan you're going to go with, you can go ahead and either download the Lab Dashboard plugin by clicking on this link, and you'll get a Lab Dashboard zip file, which you can save to your desktop. Or if you're going with a hosted plan, you'll simply go ahead and click on one of the two subscription buttons, which will take you to PayPal, where you can go ahead and pay for your Support Plus or Entrepreneur subscription. We will then follow up with you immediately, confirming your order and giving you the entire site set up within 24 hours. Typically, depending on demand, that will happen in a much shorter time frame, but guaranteed within 24 hours. Now, once you've decided on either one of those plans, you'll also be set up with all the plugins, as I'll show you in a moment. Now, once we've decided on that, we can also go ahead while we're here and see if we want to take a customized lab theme. Now, the lab theme custom option means that you'll get a one-of-a-kind branded site that'll give you the graphics and the other artwork that's unique to your particular idea, as well as your company or personal social network. You will get the option of going ahead with any of the color schemes you want, etc. Basically, it's a custom artwork option. In addition to the lab theme, however, you can go ahead and browse inside of your lab store for some ready-to-use themes, starting at $19.99. So the price point on this is $249 versus $19.99. And even if you go with neither of those options, you still can just go with our basic Lab 2010 theme, which is a starter theme. Lastly, you can also select a 6-pack. We are offering a special for the Lab Code, our most popular plugins. You can get 6 of them for a total of $399 instead of the normal $99 piece, giving you a savings of about $200. If you don't want to pick up a 6-pack right now, you can simply go ahead and browse a la carte through our Lab store inside of your Lab Dashboard and select only the plugins that you want. Remember, if you go with one of our hosted plans with Support Plus or Entrepreneur, you get 2 of the most popular plugins included to use for as long as you remain hosted. Okay, those are the basics. Let's get started. Now, I'm going to show you over here on a sample site that this is what will happen after you've got the site set up. In a previous video, I showed you that the installation of the Lab Secrets dashboard is as simple as going to your plugins section and going ahead and saying Add New, and clicking on Upload. Now, I'm not going to do this again. I just want to show you, to refresh your memory, that you just would click on that, open, and it would go ahead and install it on your site after you click Install Now. Since I've already installed it, we don't need to do it here. So I'm going to go back over to the Lab Secrets Dashboard tab, where you can see now when I click on Lab Store that I've got a number of available plugins. Now, as we showed you in the introduction to this on LabSecrets.com, when a plugin has been paid for or has been provided to you as part of either a 6-pack package or as a gift, it'll show up in blue, meaning it's ready to install on your site. So the first thing you'll do if you've already purchased something and it's blue is click on Install. And when you do, it will add it to your My Plugins area, where you then would click on the red button to activate it. So it goes from inactive to active. And I can repeat this process for each of the items that I've already purchased in the Lab store and make sure that they all get activated. It's a pretty simple process. It takes a couple moments to do. The nice thing, though, is that because you're buying all of the products a la carte, anything that you have an interest in can be purchased, but you don't have to buy anything that you don't need or don't want. Likewise, you don't have to go outside of the Lab dashboard to obtain the features and functionality that you need in order to build a powerful social network with monetization features. All right, I have one more to go here. And last but not least, now, we also want to make sure that we've got a theme in use. Now, you'll notice in the Lab Store, we've got another tab. By the way, nice little warning. It says, congratulations, we've installed everything. When I click on themes, you'll see that I've also got my theme installed, and that's the basic Lab 2010, which is the starter theme skeleton upon which you can either add your own CSS customization. You can actually go ahead and grab one of our skins that will be available in the Lab Store, or you can go ahead and you'll see when you buy a Lab theme that it'll be available in here as well for your custom branded theme. Now, an essential step for anybody who's installing the LabSecrets solution is to ensure that you've got the free BuddyPress plugin installed. If you go with one of our hosted solutions, we of course install this and get it set up for you. But if you're using this on your own site, let me run you through the steps necessary to get BuddyPress installed. First of all, you'll go into your dashboard and click on Plugins. Once there, it installs just like any other plugin, but you're going to click on Add New. You're going to search it out by clicking on Search and then typing in BuddyPress. When you do, it'll go to the WordPress repository, and if you scroll down, you'll find BuddyPress. All you need to do is click on Install Now, and it'll ask you if you're sure, and once you are, you click on Activate Plugin. At that point, there's really nothing more to do if you don't want to set up the basics, but if you do, there's a couple quick things you can do for BuddyPress. First of all, number one is to set up the forums component. Click on Set up a new BBPress installation. And when I do, it's just that simple. I complete it and I'm all done. Now, there's some other setup things that you can do, including setting up your avatar to be Mystery Man or Identicon or Wavatar, etc. But we're going to cover all of this in a more detailed tutorial later. When you get your basic site and you install the Lab dashboard and you reload this page here, you'll see something that looks like this. Now, the couple items that'll be different will be, first of all, the title and the tag at the top will be unique to your site. So they will either say something that has your URL or your domain name, or if we've set it up for you as part of a custom skin, it'll have the particular domain or brand that you wanted us to place in there for you. The idea is that if you want to go ahead and adjust that, the first place to find that is under Settings. So the first thing we do is Settings General, and you'll see here we've got Site Title and Tagline. So if I wanted to put in a custom site title, I would say my custom title, and I could say my custom tagline, and I'll go ahead and save the changes. And when I reload the page, you can see very quickly changes those two there. Now you'll also notice that I've got a basic menu here with no drop downs. So the second thing I want to change is I want to go under Appearance. When I do, I'll have an option here of creating a new menu. So I click on Appearance Menus, and this is where I can go ahead and create a new menu, and I'll call it Main Menu. You could call it anything you want. The idea is that you can create and store an unlimited number of custom menus. Perhaps you want a different menu for different parts of your site, or you want to have different themes that you're swapping in and out with different menus, or maybe you just want to try different ideas. When you create a new menu and save it, it will then become available under Theme Locations. So we go to Primary Navigation and we select the main menu as the one we want to use for our primary navigation of the new site. Now, once I do that, I click Save, and I want to go back to the site and reload. And when I do, you'll see that the navigation has changed. There's nothing in there. It's gone. That's because we never created anything. So let's add some new tabs. You can add tabs in three ways. You could type in a custom link. You can go ahead and select from existing pages, or you can select by existing categories. Let's start out with existing pages. If I click on the View All, I see there's two existing pages by default, Home and About. Click on the checkboxes to select them and then Add Menu, and you'll see that they're available. You'll also notice there's a right arrow that lets it drop down, and I can put in extra details. Now, if I wanted to do so, I can change the label from home to my home page, whatever I want. I can also put in an attribute here that would show up when I roll my mouse over. This is the home page. The URL should be the actual root of the domain because that's the home page. On the About page, we've got some other options, which allows us to, again, use an existing page that's already been created. So the URL is automatically generated. We don't have to change that, but we can add an attribute. So we could say something like this tells about my site. The attribute is completely optional, so don't worry about it. Click on Save Menu, and that'll save those two options. Now, before I leave the setup, I want to show you something. I can drag these pages to the right and make them a child theme, a child of the tab above. So if I wanted the About to be a drop-down menu of my home page, just drag it to the right until it sticks, and it's good to go. If I want to put it back, I just drag it to the left. Now, I'll save the menu, and let's look at what this appears like on the site. When we reload the page, you'll see here I've got two tabs, My Home Page and About. Now, if I go ahead and do what I just showed you, if I move the About page over and save it, reload, now that becomes a drop-down. You see? Very, very simple. Let's add a couple other pages manually. For the social networking features, I'm going to have some standard pages. I'm going to have a members page, which will be /members. And if you buy a hosted plan from us, we go ahead and set these tabs up for you just for convenience. You're going to have groups. You're going to have forums. You'll have photos and videos. So photos. Oops. And lastly, videos. That's a typo. There we go. Okay. What I like to do is actually put in an activity stream too. So put in activity. Now, if you're like me and you want to actually put everything under a neat and tidy header, I make a duplicate activity stream and I call it community. Oops, wrong spot. I call this community. Now, I'm actually using the same activity stream as the link. I could, if I wanted, put in the placeholder, which is a £, which won't do anything. But what I prefer to do is type in activity, because what will happen then is it'll show a tab called community at the top. And if anybody does click it, it'll take them to the latest activity, which is not a bad way to go, because that way people see something going on in the group. What I do then is I drag the community tab up to the top, and I'm going to move the members, groups, forums, photos, videos, and activity to the right. And as I suggested, I'm going to put activity right underneath it. So now I've got a parent tab called community. The first thing below is the activity, which I could edit that. I want to make it say latest activity, actually, so it's more obvious. Okay, I'm going to save that. Now, you'll notice that I've also got this About tab. I'm going to move that over, save it, and let's take a look at our changes. Remember, you always have to hit save. When I reload the page, you'll see that I've got my basic navigation, pops right on here. My home page, About, and there's the drop down. So what's nice is when I click on latest activity, it shows it in, there's no activity yet, so I could say, hi, here is some activity, post it. Now I've got some activity. All right, now